Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. Today I have a review for you, and I am going to be reviewing the Journal of Dora Damage. I picked this book up from our local used bookstore in Denton. It's the recycled bookstore in Denton, Texas. And I got it for like $2 on the sales rack. I picked it up first of all because of the cover. I really love this cover. But also I'm trying to read a little bit more historical fiction books, and it probably was not a good idea, but I picked this book up to read it right after I tried reading The Historian. That book just burned my brain. I got to like page 300 in that book and just could not go any further. I think mostly that was because there was too much history, not enough story. I was really interested in it because it was about Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, and I couldn't finish the book, so I put it aside. Then I picked up this one. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised when I picked this book up. I thought it was written very well. You have Dora Damage and her husband, and he is a bookbinder. And they were pretty well-to-do, bringing the money, binding the books. And then he started suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, and his hands started getting mangled, and he just could not bind books anymore. They have a young daughter who was an epileptic, and they were headed towards the poorhouse. Now, this is set back in the 19th century, 1800s. And back then, women just weren't looked at as being worthy of much more than being at home and running a household. And that's about the worth that was pinned to women in those days. And Dora Damage was different. She decided, hey, I'm going to continue this business. I'm going to continue to bind these books. I'm going to keep our names appreciated, and not, people looking down on them. And she had to get them out of the poorhouse, and she got a deal from these men that came to talk to her, and she said, okay, I'll bind your books. Well, when she started looking at the books, she discovered that the books that she's binding were pornographic material. And she went along with it anyway because she needed to take care of her family. Now, her husband treated her pretty badly, and when he was in this shape and he couldn't do anything, and he was just sometimes couldn't even get out of bed, she treated him with the utmost care, even though he would just verbally abuse her, and she just let it go by the wayside, and she would just agree with him and take care of him, and it was a little frustrating to me. Her character, though, in the book, it was like she came out and she said, hey, I am not one of these women that you're going to say is worthless. And I'm going to be one of these women, and I am going to be strong and prove everybody wrong, and fight the masses and prevail over all the judgments. With these men coming in and out of her house, words started being said and rumors spread. But she overcame that, and that was one of the reasons I liked her character so much, was because she was strong, and she did overcome a lot of things that were happening. But I can't get into a lot of those things because they're major parts of the story. I just think that this book was wrote very well. I really think that, sorry I didn't mention it, Belinda Starling is the author. I think she is a great writer. And she made me feel like I was in the 19th century, and she made me feel degraded, and made me feel those feelings that women would feel back in this time. And it really opened your eyes to those things that were going on. I mean, I know we learn this stuff, as we grow, but you don't get the mental image as much until you you enter that again. You come upon this era in books, and these women, or these authors who research this stuff and bring it to life in a book, and it really makes your eyes open up, and you really see how things were. I loved the whole idea of the story. I loved the fact that she brought their family out of, or tried to bring them out of the shame because of what the rumors were, but she also brought them out of the poorhouse, and she made sacrifices, and she saved her family for the most part. There's so much that goes on in this story that you have to absorb, and it's all those things that I would just love to just sit here and talk about. But for the most part, Dora is a beautiful person. She's beautifully written, and her husband as well, because of the time and the era. I think she captured that essence in this book, and really makes you realize how things were in the 19th century and how much more we've advanced as time goes on, because women today aren't gonna settle for what these women settle for or put up with, because the mindset is just a lot different now. But I love the fact that Dora got beyond that and became something other than what was expected. So it's a great historical book. I didn't really know at first what to expect, but I'm glad that I read it. And I don't know, I think I rated this a 3.5 star. I'm not for sure, but I wanted to do a review on it because it did make me think and wonder and become a part of this era that she wrote about so well. So if you get the chance to pick it up. You won't be disappointed, I don't think, if you really like historical, separate from what the historian was, which was more history and no story. This was about equal. This had a lot of story to it, so I was not disappointed with it. So check it out. That is my review, guys, of the Journal of Dora Damage by Belinda Starling. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you've read this book, let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.